Hey everybody, welcome back to another Tuesday night chat with the Muskrat. I'm your host, Roger, and back at the house hanging out after a trip out to... Hey everybody, welcome back. I saw that coming. I tried to catch it. After we got back from fishing for freedom out in Quincy, Illinois, man, what a fantastic event. I know that I talked it up quite a bit in the weeks prior, and of course we had Adam come on and talk to us a little bit. And, you know, a lot of other shows. I know Lyle's a big supporter. James Smith has also, you know, talked it up a good bit. And, man, we just had a ball. There's a lot to talk about that happened over the weekend. But before I get started, I want to say hello to everybody tuning in. So Ernie Brown was first in chat, and J Fox Hunter, Country Boy Catfishing Chaos, hanging out with us. Let's see. It jumped on me. Josh, Weekend Anglers in here. Brad Cottle's in the house. John Patrick Jr. is hanging out with us. Hello. Thanks for joining, tuning in. Betty's driving and listening. Betty, thanks for tuning in. Be careful heading home. Table Rock. Lake Adventures by Aaron. Aaron, thanks for stopping in. Justin's Fishing Fetish. Slime Action Outdoors. Hey, Chris. Good to see you, buddy. Dave Garcher's in the house. And people are going to start rolling in here as we get going along. Terry Lane, thanks for stopping in, buddy. Like I said, last week I was cutting it too close. I had some things I had to get done before the heading out for Fishing for Freedom. And then we had a lot of rain coming in. So knowing that the things I needed to get done to make sure the boat was ready to go and ready to rock and roll before we got out there. Richard Ward, thanks for tuning in, buddy. Mad Catta in the house. So apologize for having to cancel on you guys last week. I like to try to stay as consistent as humanly possible. But life happens sometimes. So I got a link out there for my buddies Zach and Skip. They may be able to jump in here in a few to give their 2 cents on their very first adventure out to fishing for freedom. I'll tell you what, Kevin's in the house. What's up, Kevin? Thanks for stopping in, buddy. The bite was tough. I will not lie. The spawn was strong. The water temps were around 72 degrees out that way. So it was a very difficult bite. Damn Green Machine, what's up, buddy? Very difficult bite. Not very many fish were caught the first couple of days. Well, not even on tournament day. There weren't a lot of fish caught over the weekend. But we managed to find some fish. We caught some fish. We ended up with a boater. Our veteran's name was John. And John is actually a very well-rounded fisherman for a lot of other species. He fishes out. He lives in Iowa. He fishes Wisconsin and a lot of the big lakes and things out there. And he's very rounded on a lot of other species. But catfish wasn't one that he was hadn't had much luck with, and the one he was interested in. So we got him taken. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. I've heard a lot of that. John was our veteran we got to take out. Great guy. You know, obviously we want to thank each and every one of them for their service. Chris Coomer, thanks for stopping in, buddy. But he had never caught a flathead before. And I believe by the time it was said and done, he ended up with 5 or 6 flatheads. His biggest blue before the trip was like a pound or pound and a half. So he said, and we put him on, I think his 9.5 pound Bluecat was his biggest Bluecat. So his biggest Bluecat to date, his biggest flathead to date, and his second biggest channel cat to date. And so we caught fish. We didn't stick any monsters. Be honest, when I'm heading to the Mississippi, I'm seeing all these giant fish and thinking about these crazy fast waters and big deep holes. And it just so happens the water out that way right now is very, very low. The water out there is very, very low. And so things were totally different than what they normally would be out that way. And a lot of the local guys was a lot of local guys was, complaining a lot about, man, if we had some rain this, over the spring or the winter, we'd have a lot more fish that move up this way. And I understand that completely on the Ohio. As you go further north up the Ohio, the Bluecats become less and less and less. And same thing happens on the Mississippi for where we were at. The farther south we went, the better opportunity we had at Bluecats. And so that's pretty much what we did. We actually, me, Zach, and Skip all pretty much ran an hour south. We drove, I think there was only one other boat that went as far south as we did, and to try to find some fish and put our guys on some good fish. Zach, I sent you the link. I sent you the link in message or regular text messaging. If you just click on the link there, it should bring you right on in, Zach. So I'll let Zach talk a little bit about his experience. They did really good. Norm, what's up, buddy? See a couple other folks jump in. Jason Lamb. Whoops. I missed it. Jason Lamb's in the house. Brandon Catfishing Dreams. Let's see. I know I missed a couple up there. 3+1 Outdoors. Thanks for tuning in. They also just jumped in on the Catfishing for Kids tournament. They're on day 2. Mike Irvin. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. I appreciate you all being here. Try to keep up with the comments. They're rolling pretty good. That's good. I love you guys know me. I like to be in chat. I like to try to keep chat going. And the sidebar conversations over there, Mr. Gadget, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. And looks like we got Zach ready to jump in, so we'll bring him on in.
Hey,
how you doing?
I just about got most of this fish smell off of me from today.
Zach just got off the water, didn't you, buddy?
Yeah, I literally just got my clothes on and came in here. So took my shower, got cleaned up. I had to get the bait ready for our next trip out there. So it took a few minutes and rinse off all the mud and fish stuff and all that, So we're ready for the next.
This was your first time heading out to Quincy, Illinois for Fishing for Freedom, and for the folks that have never experienced it, what was your overall take from it?
It's a good experience. Keep in mind it is a fishing tournament, but it's not probably like fishing tournaments, other ones we've been in and stuff.
Right.
The whole goal really for us, I think it was for you and Skip also, was just to get our warrior out there and get some fish in the boat so that they could weigh in some fish, at the tournament.
Right.
And that was the whole goal, and have fun doing so. And I think everybody had a good time. I mean, I know my guy did. He had a ball, and he got, two fish he caught were both PBs 2 days in a row. He never caught a Bluecat before. And
right.
He ended up catching a Bluecat during the tournament that was, I think, 14.6 or something like that.
Yep. Yep.
And it was in heavy current right below a dam. And man, he just, you know what that's like. He had a ball. It took him and he had never even used a bait casting rod before, and he didn't rat nest one reel. I wish I could say that.
I can't even say that.
I know he did an awesome job. I mean, he did exactly what you tell him to do. He was a Marine. So of course we had that going for us. We spoke the same language and everything. And I couldn't have asked for a better warrior, to go with me as far as, personality wise and stuff. Everything was just perfect. And but as far as, actual tournament day, or as far as the experience of fishing on the Mississippi, because that was the first time I had ever set foot in that part of the country, and never even fished in the Mississippi, let alone up there. And that was quite an experience. It's not what I expected. I was thinking of a river that was going to be 4 miles wide and ripping current, and
yeah.
Just I've seen a lot of video. I know it is like that sometimes, but probably not unless it's flooded. It's because that's all up there before the Illinois and the Mississippi or the Missouri and the Ohio and all these big rivers dump into it. This is before all. So it's very similar to what we're used to down here. as far as the amount of water that was going through it and so forth. It was, I'm sure next time we go back, it'll probably be totally different, but, you know, it was, I expected a lot more fish and a lot bigger fish than what was brought in. And it wasn't just us. I mean, there wasn't anybody out there hardly catch. There was most of the large majority of the people didn't even catch anything. So we felt very blessed that we was able to go out there and put our warrior on. Same thing for you guys. I mean, you guys actually caught a lot of fish both days. And we tried some of your tactics there the last hour or so, and just didn't happen for us, you know, catching flatheads. But I just was wanting him to be able to catch a flathead, but it just never happened. He caught 2 channel cats and a blue cat for tournament day. So that was all good stuff.
And so for those folks who don't know it yet or didn't catch it on the post there, Zach and his warrior actually took 3rd place in the catfish division on tournament day. So congratulations, Zach. Job well done. You pretty much you went out and tacked it just like you would any other fishing trip. You put in, you caught fresh bait, and you ran straight for the dam, and you did what you're comfortable doing or what you know you can do.
Yes,
and it paid off.
Yeah, pre-fish day we didn't do that because we was just trying to, you know, check out all the areas, and people probably you know because you were there, but you know we're a fishing team, me and Skip and Roger, and so even though we were in different boats, as far as gathering data and information, we all worked together. We all went different directions and did different things on pre-fish day to go out and try to cover as much of that water and get as much data as we could. And then all through the day, you know, we were comparing notes, and then that evening we compared notes and broke out the navionics and, you know, come up with our final plans and so forth. And
and it wasn't so much the tournament mentality. We act like that just to go fishing every week.
Yeah, it's no different.
Yeah,
just to go out and catch 10-pound fish, we do pretty much the same thing. It was a lot of fun. I mean, and it was a good experience too. That the folks that put that event on up there at Fishing for Freedom, you talk about a bunch of work. Oh my Lord, to get things to run that smooth and to run, what was it, like 170 or 167 boats that they ran through the weigh-in? I mean,
it was 175, right about 175, I believe, is what they said they had to weigh in.
And over 600 participants. And you know, we went to a couple dinners there, and you know, they served us, everybody, all of us, and served us pretty doggone quick. I mean, it was so organized every step of the way. You know, that was 3 days of stuff that they had to do, and that was, I tell you, they obviously, it was not their first time doing it.
Right.
Wouldn't have been that smooth, but you know, you count up the number of people that were working for them and all the hours they put in. Good grief. There's corporations that can't do that, you know, and run things that smooth. That it was very impressive, I'll have to say. And then, you know, the whole purpose of the event was, you know, to take out veterans and also to show appreciation towards them, you know, for their dedication and their sacrifices that they had made, you know, in their life and so forth when they were in service. And all those boxes got checked. I tell you that. They were, you know, clear down to the weigh-in. There was a lot of boats, like we said, that didn't even catch fish, but they still went through the weigh-in process. They went, and when I say weigh-in, you pulled up to the stage, and you know they had the announcer, and they had a huge audience, and they announced the warrior's name and the boater's name, and you know what branches of service, and you know they, even if they didn't catch a fish, they still got recognition, and that's pretty special, you know, for a lot of folks that might have never had that experience. It was very, very positive. Oh yeah, then through all this, we get there and they're just about done with the weigh in, and we look up, and there's a bald eagle flying around, just, I mean, it's like, is that thing remote control or what? You know, I mean, how could you find that well? You know?
Yeah, I asked him, I said, how did you guys train a bald eagle to fly over this event right at the close of the event? And
it couldn't have been any better, could it?
uh-uh.
That was amazing. And some of our wives got to go with us, and they basically were in the support role, you know, to keep us headed the right direction through and keep us company the whole weekend and so forth. And that was there's no way I could have drove out there and back and done everything that I'd done without the support of my wife. I can tell you that. Now Roger, he had Herb. And, Herb took care of Roger and all that stuff. So, but
looks like the third part of our party here has joined us.
All right,
we'll bring Skipper into chat as well. Skip, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, guys?
So we got Zach's input on what his experience for his first ever Fishing for Freedom event. What was your experience like?
Oh, it was great. You know, we didn't have as much fish, but you guys left me out of the loop or something. I don't know what it was, but and we kind of on the pre-fish got a few of the flatheads, but during the tournament, man, we got a big old goose egg. But it was still fun. You know, my warrior was just glad to be out and got to know him a little bit, and you know, got to meet people that I've heard about, and you know, seen on your show or someone else's show. You know, and it was a really great experience, and just seeing how people really contribute to those warriors, to our service people. You know, it was amazing. I think is what really impressed me the biggest island auction, how those people just, I mean, they were really, really supporting that, you know. And
right. Yeah.
It was very humbling, and yeah, it was long. All in all, it was worth it. You know, when we think about what a lot of those men, you know, what they've given for us, you know, men and women,
right,
and women, you know, our little bit wasn't nothing what a lot of people have sacrificed for us. So.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. That's the big picture, And so, Zach, I know you went out and supported. You played the role of warrior and boater, and so I don't think I say it often enough, but I thank you for your service. I'm proud to have you call you a friend and a brother, and I was really happy that you was able to make it out and experience this with us.
You know, thanking Pete veterans is kind of a new thing. I don't know, the last 6 years or 7 years or something like that. It started being cool to do that, you know. And at first, when they'd see a tattoo or my shirt or something, you know, and they'd thank me for my service and stuff. And it was kind of awkward at first, to tell you the truth. But, you know, I had time to think about it and stuff. And, you know, now I have a canned response, you know, that I give out, and it's well, I'm glad I was able to, you know, because I know a lot of people, they're not able to. There's people out there that have wanted to do that, and they couldn't. You know, they couldn't go out and serve their country and you know, be part of the community. I call it the same. It's like community service. You know, it's along the same lines, except there's a good chance that you might get shot at doing what we did. But anyway, that's all I got to say about that, I guess.
Yeah. So you kind of touched on a little bit about how much teamwork you know, Zach, you said the same thing. Not only it wasn't only just the people at the event, but the boaters and all the folks, the support system of all of the folks that showed up. So I could tell you that, you know, throughout the entire event, I had guys asking, "Hey, do you guys need bait? Do you guys need help?" You know, we was on the river, and you know, there's some big tournament guys up there. You know, Cliff Miller is a great tournament angler, fishes that area, knows it well, and stopped. Just saw. I don't feel pretty good about myself. I'm first time sitting on the Mississippi River, and somebody says, "Hey, I knew that was you," and recognized me. But you know, Cliff came over and just gave us a whole bunch of information about the area we were looking at, about the river in general, and what the current conditions were. And so the locals were more than willing to share all their secrets. The guys that had driven several miles and several hours were willing to share their bait. I'll tell you that Trey Stroop or Strop, I'm not sure. I think it's Stroop. Trey Stroop. He travels a lot and does a lot of tournaments. The night before, he gave us a little bag of bluegills. He has a bunch of bluegills to spare. And on tournament day, that's the only thing that caught fish. We used everything that we had. We had skipjack. We had Asian carp. And I'll get to that in a minute. The Asian carp, that's a totally new experience. But we had all this bait, and the bait that it was given to us was what helped us catch fish and make that experience awesome. So, Skip, I seen you squirm over there when I said Asian carp. How'd you? What was your take on or feel for the Asian carp in the area? I'll share mine.
Those things are crazy. They're nuts. They tried to jump my boat twice. They're like the size of an overgrown foot, and then they just beat themselves to death once they get in there. It's crazy. They're crazy, and they're everywhere.
Yeah. So I'll say this right here. I feel for everyone that has to deal with those things on a consistent basis. Skip actually sent me some photos, and I'll get them shared out. I'll be working on the video for this trip here, this week. And some areas you'd pull into, the Asian carp would white out your screen. I mean, there you couldn't see. It just completely blew up your screen with all the Asian carp. And then, like I said, the Asian carp then ended up jumping in your boat, banging around, and you're like, "What in the world?" It was it got pretty. It was funny because, you know, it's the first time we've ever got to experience. Hey, Kelly, thanks for tuning in. It was cool because it was the first time we ever had to deal with it, but dealing with that on a consistent basis would be tough.
I hope we don't.
It would be tough.
Hope we don't ever.
What's that?
But I hope we don't ever have to. But
yeah, I agree 100%. Apple Ed says you don't want to get hit in the head by one. Just ask his son.
They do make alternative bait, though.
Oh yeah, they're good for bait.
Yeah,
I'll say that because on pre-fishing day, that's what we were catching our fish on. You know, we had skipjack and, you know, a little bit of everything, and that Asian carp, man, we cut that stuff in. We took Roger gave us a big fillet, and we cut that in strips. When we put it on the hook and put it in the current, it looked like a fish, you know, underwater, just sitting there, kind of tail action and everything. And you know, we were throwing that in heavy current, and
right.
that's where we were catching blues. So it worked. Then on the day of the tournament, we did use some of it, but we did not end up catching anything. We had some skipjack from Kentucky. We got from John Null, and big old heads. That's what was working up there at the dam. Yeah, that was Roger touched on it there. You know, when it came right down to it, I went and done what I was most comfortable doing, and went up there to that dam and did what I like to do, you know, and figure out, you know, with the current seams where you can fish and all that stuff. And we saw a lot. Of course, there was Asian carp up there, but we saw a lot of small fish. I mean, there was tons of bait fish in there, and there was current right next to it. So yeah, you know, we did, and it worked. So
yeah, we go ahead.
I said third place.
That's right.
oh,
I think we skipped part of that, but you guys took third place, and you know, like you said before, I feel very blessed and fortunate that we was able to go out there and put our angler on fish, or put our veteran on fish. There were a lot of boats, a lot of local boats, a lot of guys that know the area way better than we do. Couldn't buy a fish, and we were very fortunate enough for us. You know, it was day, the pre-fishing day, we caught 7 fish, and the day of the tournament, we caught 6 fish. And now none of them, like I said, none of them were great big fish, but when you've only got the time to invest, you just want to catch a guy fish. Like Zach said earlier, if it was tournament day, and it was a real tournament, we'd probably pre-fished and fished totally different. But for most of these guys, they're just enjoying getting out on a boat, talking to somebody. They enjoy, catching anything. I know that there were some boats out there that just went after and targeted carp because, their angler hadn't caught any fish or hadn't hardly caught any fish to speak of. And so they just wanted to give them a great experience, the best experience they knew how. And that's pretty much what determined how we fished was our warrior and what was going to make the best experience for them. So my warrior texted me again today. I think I've talked to him several times the last couple of days, just even after leaving, and he's still excited. So it was a great experience. I'm thrilled that I was able to make it again. This was the Fishing for Freedom's 10th anniversary. So as Zach said earlier, they continue to, it just gets smoother and smoother. There was a lot of obstacles for them to overcome with COVID. The banquet hall that they usually use due to restrictions in town for capacity, we were limited to a small was it Eagles?
Yeah, Eagles.
Eagles. So anyway, yeah, but it was great. It was good stuff. There was a few things that went wrong during this event, and I know I had some comments in the pictures I shared today. You saw a picture of a boat on fire, and we got to witness, unfortunately, a boat explosion during pre-fishing day on Saturday. So some folks had the boat out for the day, and it was a great big cuddy, double decker, go down inside kitchen, living quarters and all that big boat. And they had just fueled up, and after they had fueled up, they went to restart the boat, and the boat exploded. Everyone's okay. Everyone, to my knowledge, managed to get out of it harm-free. It's unbelievable, but they were. Everyone was able to get off the boat, and unfortunately, the boat was not salvageable. It burnt down as far as it goes. What was you going to say, bud?
So they're all right, but they did get wet.
They did get wet.
Yeah.
They did get wet. Hey, Matt, thanks for stopping in. Hello. Dan, did you win yet? I don't know. He was looking like he was winning over there on that I'm not sure how to say a wiener statue or a wiener trophy. I'm not sure what the proper lingo is for this, but I was watching silently in the background as I got set up and ready for the show here.
Hey, I do it. There is one thing because I'm going to have to get off here.
Sure.
One thing, Skip went out there and done everything that he possibly could do, and just it was tough, and he ended up not catching fish on game day. but he got to go out and catch fish today. So he got some redemption.
That's right. You guys ended up, what, 18 fish today?
Yeah, we got 18 fish in the boat, and it was a good day. We just got the rain started, and as soon as it started raining, we didn't get another bite. Of course, it was raining pretty hard, but Chris, and then Chris Souders, he put out a video there from last weekend. He was up there at on Lake Erie.
Right.
It's raining up there, and he was just catching fish like nobody's business.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal was, man, with us today, but when it started raining, that was it.
Yeah.
It must not like rain and current.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was, but hey, thanks for having me on the show. I will be talking to you later. So,
all right. Thanks for stopping in, buddy.
Y'all have a good evening.
You too.
All right. See you. All right. And then there were two.
Now there's two.
So yeah, the water temperature up there was right at the 72 degree mark. We were fighting spawning conditions is what we were hearing from everyone. Creole, what's up, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. Mike Greenwell's in the house. Tiger, what's going on? I know I missed a lot of folks. I didn't want to interrupt my guests. Jesse, Outdoors Addiction, what's going on? And if I missed you, I apologize. I seen Paula Smith in the house. Thank you, Paula, for tuning in, girl. I hope you're doing better. You're going to answer the phone. I called you. I'm calling you, girl. So we also had so the boat blew up. That was not a great experience. Everyone did make it out okay, but a very unfortunate event. From most of the folks we talked to, it sounded like an issue with venting after fueling or fans or something like that. I'm not familiar with how inboards work. I've never had an inboard, but we also had an angler that, as most cat fishermen do, I know Zach is also one of them. Many of us have our bait trays hanging off the side of our boat. And most bait trays now have a cutout somewhere for your pliers and for your fillet knife and all that stuff. And there was an instance where the angler had, the boater had his bait knife hanging down in the tray, which left the blade exposed below. And the warrior, went to step on the boat and cut their shin. I'm talking like 11-inch slice clear to the bone, basically. Wow. Call me back. I will, Paula. It ended up taking emergency surgery. So I won't put that person's name out there yet. I'm not sure. I believe that they posted something on Facebook, but if you guys could keep them in your thoughts and prayers, that's a very unfortunate event to take place during an awesome event like this. But so there was a couple, unfortunate events that happened, and but as most military men and women do, they push through and adapt and overcome, and that's what they did. Kind of like the theme of the entire event was no. I don't have my shirt here, but the theme is no warrior left on the bank, and so I know we was pushing hard there for a few weeks to get boaters lined up, and there was not a single person left behind. Every single person was able to go out and get on the water and have a good time. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
So Skip, you got anything else? I don't want to hold you.
No. Really.
I know you just got home too. You got home later than him because you had to drive.
I didn't get no shower in like he did yet. That's what I need to do.
All right, buddy. Well,
I
appreciate
a few things to put up and get a shower and stuff like that. So
I appreciate you stopping in and sharing your experience with us. I'm glad you was able to join us. It was awesome having all three of us together down there.
Yeah,
and
a lot of fun.
I'll catch up with you here soon. We'll plan our next fishing trip.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, brother.
Later.
Everybody check out Clearview Outdoors if you haven't already. He's got some good stuff. So the other thing we was going to talk about tonight is the catfishing for kids. And, man, I'm telling you what, I am pumped up, geared up, ready to go now. We've got a lot of great contestants stepping up and jumping in on the 2 days fishing event. So the first day of the event, I'll circle back to that with you real quick in a minute, Chris. The kids event, it will be Saturday, June 19th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's just 6 hours. I wanted to keep it short. There'll be kids of all ages, I'm sure. And so I wanted to make sure that we didn't, make it a bad experience in any way, shape, or form. So we're going to do a 6 hours, 8 to 2. Day one filled up pretty quick. Day two is just about full. I think I have one spot left. I got to double check my, my list to make sure I do not leave anyone out, because I do not want anyone to get left behind. But I believe I have one spot left for that. 8 to 2 is Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Creole, for bringing that up. Eastern Standard Time for the kids tournament. We'll probably go into that. I see that comment right there. I've seen another one up there that I think Josh said. I think he said that his daughter. Oh yeah, Caitlin's ready to go. As talked about earlier, and these are the things that that make it so exciting for me, is hearing that the kids are pumped up about it, hearing that the kids are talking about it and telling their friends about it. I heard some stories of kids that said they're going to be on TV and all this stuff, and that's what the entire theme of it is we want to get the kids involved, get the kids out there and have some fun. Chunky's in the house. Mr. Elstan Perez, thank you for stopping in, buddy. They also will be joining us on the kids tournament on the 26th, Saturday. So that we're looking forward to that. You just about can't have Chunky Cats in any live stream and not have a good time. It's impossible. I just don't see it happening. So I'm looking forward to it. We've had a lot of great folks step up and try to help make the event very special. I got home from Fishing for Freedom. I had a package laying at the door here from this was from Want to Be Fishing, Matt, if he's in still hanging out in chat. We got some trophy cat tackle. We picked up not one, not two, but 3 trophy cat tackle boxes to give away after the event. So if you guys can see that, there's all kinds of goodies in there. Hooks and snaps and swivels and all that stuff to make those make that going to be fun. Also came in, got a whole stack. You guys can see that stack right there. These came in from Uncle Jeep. Uncle Jeep went in and picked up Amazon gift cards, and the kids are going to be receiving Amazon gift cards as well. And Dan's Creation has volunteered to hook us up with some with a trophy. J-Dogs donated a Catfish Pro reel. Sogo has volunteered to pick up a PC Fun reel to the smallest fish. The smallest fish is going to win a PC Fun reel. So, Stan, if you're still listening, if you target that small fish, we can somebody's going home with a PC Fun reel. So Lil Smith and Tiny Smith can't wait. They are ready. That's what I'm talking about, man. I am super excited. We're talking earlier with Chad, and I think Chad's going to jump in and help me co-host the event. I just want to make sure it goes smooth for the kids. I can imagine it may get a little loud and crazy, and that's okay. That's okay. I want it to be loud and crazy. And so I just want to make sure I don't drop anything there. And I've got Chad coming in and help me out and keep track, make sure we keep the score right and all that stuff. Will I win those? Dan, yeah, we can win a sticker or something. We got you. Paul Smith, take care of yourself, girl. I will call you. I'll probably call you tomorrow because I've got a couple other phone calls I've got to do when I get off of here. I'll probably call you tomorrow, darling. Jeremy, I made sure to represent you and your channel with the hat. A couple questions in my stream. There you go. That's right. Creole's got some got nice looking hats out there, purple and black, and I think he's got something else going on. And the boys have their game plan in place. And I see that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. The kids are already getting geared up and ready to go, getting excited. I think I'm having an awesome time just thinking about it. Bill says doing a great thing. I'll keep it up. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. We are growing. We continue to grow. I think we logged in tonight with 929 subscribers. We are scratching and clawing our way to that 1K mark. I've got to get motivated, or not motivated. I just got to get some time put aside to get this thing going. Chris did ask earlier about how the boat was running. The boat did fantastic. Boat ran great. We ran upriver and we fished some wing dikes. The wing dikes were kind of crazy on the Mississippi. There was I know at least one instance. Not all wing dikes are marked, and you pretty much got to stay in the channel. Sean, thanks for stopping in, buddy. You pretty much got to stay in the channel markers. They have them marked all the way up the river. And once you get off the channel markers, you better pay attention because some of those wing dikes are just barely under the water. And like I said earlier, the water this time of year right now is low, which is unseasonal. And so there were some props that were destroyed, getting out of the way. Now, we were very fortunate. I was able to spot those before. Yes, you're right, 100% about that. We were able to spot those wing dikes. Before we got into them, we could get out and around them or tiptoe over them. Warpig, you're right. S word is happening in the river. It doesn't stop them all. They can't all stop eating. But it ended up. We ended up, dealing with that down there. And of course, up here, it's doing the same today. Like I said, Zach and Skip went out, caught 15 Bluecats today, anywhere from 15 pounds and under. But that's always a good time. Paul, we put the new fuel pump in, and there was 2 fuel lines in there that I found that were kinking. They were not kinking until it was very, very hot outside. Once the sun had warmed that rubber hose up enough, it got so soft that it would bend and kink. And that's why I was having so many problems there at the end that I couldn't find because it wasn't consistent. I still think I have issues somewhere. I won't lie and say that it's 100%. But the boat ran good for us, got us everywhere we needed to go safely and back. And my truck held good and was very blessed and lucky. You guys are starting to come out of the S word already. You're starting to come out. Holy cow. I think we're just now going in. I imagine things are just a little bit different over there with tidal water. I'm 100% unfamiliar with how that works. Jerry Parker's in the house. Jerry, late coming in. Good evening. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. I appreciate it. I really do. The spawn is killing us. I'm just hoping Gabby catches a fish on tournament day. That's right. Gabby Goose is one of the contestants on day 2 of the catfishing for kids. And so on day 2, we got Gabby Goose, Mikey. Actually, Mike Kaufman, if you're still in here, if you let me know how Mikey's hand's doing. I know he broke his hand and was kind of iffy whether he was going to be able to fish here in a couple of weeks. So if you give me a call or message me, let me know about that. We also got Maddie May, and we got Little and Tiny Smith fishing on day 2. Like I said, Mr. Perez is going to have the kids out there. 3+1 Outdoors has got Kaden is going to be in there. Skip Stewart's going to have his grandkids out there as well. And that was day 2. On day 1, we still got Bryce Jacobs, Jason Burton, Blake and Gabriel DeFore, Caitlin Dunnigan, Josh and Bubba Ferguson, Gina Reyes, Lauren Murillo, and Macy, Kaylin, and Kinsley, Cottle, which are Brad's kids. So really looking forward to it. It's just a couple weeks away, so shovels are still a little active. I'll be honest, we tried a little bit of everything down in Mississippi, but what ended up working for us, and it was small fish, but again, it's either go hunt for big fish and maybe strike out, or just go catch fish and put your warrior on some fish. And but we caught fish anywhere from a foot to 8 foot deep, anywhere from 3 to 10 feet off the bank. I mean, we were banging the banks, and the flatheads were small. I mean, they weren't much to brag about, but they were biting, and they were aggressive, and they were hungry, and our warrior had a blast with it. So it was good enough for us. Matter of fact, I didn't touch the rod. I didn't catch a fish. There was a couple fish that my buddy Herb ended up landing, and that was only because there was 2 rods or 3 rods going down at the same time, and somebody had to reel the other one in. So I managed the camera or the net or whatever I had to do, and let those guys pretty much have all the action. So we did end up making it to a spot. If Tim Scott, I know he's not in here right now, but if you end up watching this later on, he put us on a couple good spots that he knew about up on the river, and there were fish there, and there were big fish there. I could not get him to bite, but I also couldn't gamble on my veteran in that area, so we ended up backing off and running down river. Bluegill #1 flathead bait. That is, that's pretty accurate in my opinion too. I'm sure some will differ, but I love good bluegill live this time of year. I'm ready to get out and do some night fishing. So depending on what the weather does this week, you may all catch me live down the river. I've got to rebound from the expenses. The thing about the Fishing for Freedom is, they pay for 2 days at the hotel, and they do pay for your meals those days. But there you go. Tim Scott's my favorite fishing guy. Wait a minute. Has Tim Scott? Oh yeah, that's Catfish Heroes. I thought he's Catfish Chaos there for a second. That's Sean. Sean, what's up, buddy? He's my favorite fishing guy too. Sampy's in the house. What's up, buddy? Yeah, I'm ready to do some night fishing, depending on what the weather does this week. And like I said, catching up financially from the shoot. It cost $150 each way just to drive out there. My truck only averaged like 10 miles a gallon. Those of you that have had a Toyota Tundra or know somebody who has, they don't get great gas mileage without pulling a big old boat. But the Muskrat did good. I'll be honest with you. The look on Skip's face, if he was still in here, I'd share it with you. When we took off out of the marina and I caught and outran his new tracker with the Muskrat, he was a little surprised. He was a little surprised. Biggest fish in the entire tournament was a 26-pound flathead, and the second biggest fish was a 20-something pound flathead caught by the same people at the same time. So Tundra will pass everything but a gas station. Yeah, you're about right there. It's pretty funny because Zach also has a Toyota Tundra, and we left the hotel at the same time, and we ran out of gas. Well, we always stopped at a quarter tank, but we ran out of gas at the exact same time. Even though we both went our separate ways and went somewhere else to eat breakfast and everything, we always end up running into each other at the same gas station. It was hilarious. Not planned at all. Both of our trucks needed gas at the exact same time, and we ran into each other 2 or 3 times on the way home, 9 hours, and hit the same gas stations. It's hilarious. It was funnier, obviously, to us. The Amish really get under your skin. I'm guessing we're talking local fishing, because I know around our area, the Mennonites really, really do a number on a couple of our public lakes, limb lines, trout lines, and all that stuff. Cost me a fortune hauling to Mendota in the Tundra, but that 5.7 is a beast. Yep, Josh, that's exactly what I got. I got the 5.7 Tundra. Mine's a 2010. She just hit over 200,000 miles. She just now broke in. She's now starting to run right. But I had something else on my mind there before I started saying that. Saturday night. Oh, that's right. You guys got a band or something coming down there Saturday night. I'll check the wife's schedule, even if she can't make it. I might bring the boat down there and hang out and maybe slip out and do some fishing. Or if you're hosting an event down there, I don't think you're going to slip away and get any fishing done that night. I was going to say I could maybe leave the boat at home, but Austin, what's going on? I believe that's a new name for us here in chat. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. 2013, 5.0 17, pulling a boat. Wow, that is pretty good. That's pretty good. We get, like I said, I'm getting about 10, maybe 9, honestly. Mine's 09. Gonna have to give a facelift. Oh yeah, that's awful. I'll tell you that the bank lines, hoop nets, and all that stuff is just as bad in the area we were fishing of the Mississippi as it is here at home. It's just like Kentucky water. There were hoop nets everywhere. There were bank lines, bank poles, diddy poles and whatnot, if you guys are familiar with that, everywhere, and trot lines. We actually, on tournament day, set up on a hole that we had found the day before and caught some blues out of. It was off the backside of a wing dike. Went from 4 feet deep to 56 feet deep. That's a hole. You would never thought of it. You never thought it, but just it's not on avionics. It wasn't mapped anywhere, but just old school reading the river is so important, especially when you're somewhere that you've never been before. You can learn a lot just by using your eyeballs. You know, don't always have to trust your electronics. Avionics does not tell you everything, especially when it comes to rivers. Sometimes you just got to go look for yourself. Anyway, the point of the story is we set up on that hole tournament day, didn't get a bite. We're like, man, what in the world? We pulled off the hole and got ready to go on to our next spot, and a boat zipped right in on top of right where we were sitting. A lady jumped out of the boat onto the bank, grabbed a trout line, got back in the boat, and started pulling up, I don't know how many hooks, pulled up several hooks with no fish on them. And so we watched these guys go check bank lines for a minute. And so it was pretty tough to watch. It did make you feel, honestly, just a little bit better knowing that they didn't catch anything. Also made you feel better knowing that they didn't catch anything in the same area that you was also just fishing. If we were just fishing that area and they started pulling 50 pounders out of there, I'd be pretty upset. But got to get your butts on the water, time on the water. That's right. Sean says it right there, time on the water. You guys have heard probably every single person say it at one point or another. And time on the water is going to be is your number one. How to catch more and big fish is you got to be there. They don't bite every single day. If you guys have listened to Tim Scott talk, a lot of these, especially big fish, have a feeding pattern. They'll eat so many days depending on size. And if you're not there the day they're hungry, man, it's if you only fish once a week, and sometimes that's all you can do, and that's all you have to, you do the best you can. But sometimes it's pure luck whether you're there when the fish are hungry. And so the more times you put your line in the water, the more you play the odds in your favor. The law of averages eventually has to swing your way. Will Navionics show you where on a lake using a cell phone? Show you where you are on a lake? Yes, Papo Ed. If you use the Navionics web app, which is 100% free, you can go to it with your phone and go to it with the web app. It's 100% free. It's a little bit easier if you download the app. You can drop pins and you can save waypoints and things like that through the app that you can't do on the web app. But it will show you your current location on the web app, which is free. And of course, if you buy it, you can drop pins. You can do all kinds of neat stuff on it. Lots of people been snagging at our bumping spot. Yeah, Creole, that's unfortunate, man. That's very disheartening to hear whenever you're whenever you're trying to fish the way we fish. Hill Jack, what's up, TJ? What's going on, buddy? Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate you being here. These shows, Navy Onyx, map, etc., are just a starting point. Time underwater is the real teacher. You're 100% right, Stan. 100%. All these things, all this information that is shared throughout all these different avenues, whether it be, YouTube videos, live chats, live streaming, fishing, or just the internet in general. You have to get it done by hammering like he did and does. That's right. That's right. Sean, you guys spend a lot of time on the water, and every time you go out, you learn something. And each time you learn something, it's just another tool in the box. And fortunately for us, you guys are willing to share those tools with us and help us all, go along in the journey with you guys to become more successful and better anglers. And, it's conversations like this, like we're having now, conversations like in lots of these other live shows. There's so much information shared, like right here, Creole, he's giving me information from his waters that are relevant in my waters, and, vice versa, all over the country. And, but yeah, at the end of the day, the more time you put on it, and people ask us, I'm not going to lie, me and Skip and Zach, we catch our fair share of fish, but we fish a lot, and we spend a lot of time on the water. And after so long, you start learning and patterning things and get comfortable with the waters you're on, and you can start putting things together and be successful. But at the end, it's just because we spend a lot of time on the water. Speaking of the vets, y'all check out my brother Hill Jack Fishing Channel. There you go. Hill Jack, another veteran. Man, I wish you could have made it out to that event. We'll have to work together. Maybe next year, bud, we can get you out there. Heck, maybe you could be my warrior. You can kind of pick who you take. If you sign up for that, it's neat. First couple of years I went, my father-in-law was my veteran. He's a Vietnam veteran in the Army for 24 years, and he loves to fish. And they said, hey, bring him out. We'll put him in your boat. And, man, it is super cool out there. It's amazing, the info you pick up simply observing what's going around you. Yes, 100%, Creole. Just know, just reading the river, just paying attention, just like you said, he was talking about seeing these guys snag and seeing what's going on. Watching hoop nets and bank lines and things like that kind of help put information together for you. I didn't know what they were. As my first hoop net I saw down there, and they used the bumpers that most people tie up on the side of their boat, like for around docks and things. And that's what they used as their, to hold the rope up out of the water. Around here, most people use milk jugs and trash so that you pay less attention to it. Just looks like a piece of trash floating in the water. I thought it was a boat bumper. I rolled over there to pick it up. I said, man, somebody lost their bumper. And we pulled it up, and it had two little flatheads in it. And it's the first time I ever heard of this, and it makes sense. But the hoop netters will, maybe I shouldn't say this. Hopefully there's no commercial fishermen watching my live streams. But these guys would put females in their hoop nets to attract the males. Kind of like many of us that deer hunt, we use doe and heat to attract the big bucks. These guys are putting females in their hoop net traps to attract the males. So we didn't expect that. It was something different that I hadn't heard of or seen before. But it got me thinking. I wonder what pheromones and whatnot that a female flathead puts out that attracts the other fish, or how that it works. This is when we need Tim Scott. All right. This is when we need science. What is it that the female puts off that attracts the males if they're using the females as bait? And can that or could that possibly be replicated in any way, shape, or form to be an attractant. I may have just spilled the beans. That may have been my get rich quick scheme right there. I could have finally paid for all my fishing habits. But yeah, it's just something that came to mind. It's like, well, if they're using females for bait, what is it that the in our fast current 2.5 gallon jugs? Yeah, you're probably right. The 5 gallon buckets most likely down your way. What's that? What are hoop nets? All right, Bill. What hoop nets are? If you're familiar with a minnow trap, and I'm sure everyone has been, has used minnow trap at some point in time. That is basically a huge version of a minnow trap designed to catch catfish. It's collapsible. It's made of like net-like material instead of, metal or galvanized metal. So maybe that helps explain a little bit. They can swim in, but they can't swim out. So, Hill Jack. Art's in the house. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Appreciate it. Appreciate the guys. Appreciate you guys asking questions and keeping things rolling here. We just hit 9 o'clock. I'm willing to hang out for a little bit longer if we got some stuff to talk about. Different body sections of bait will produce better than others some days. Don't be afraid to experiment. Yeah, that's 100% right, man. That's 100% right there, dead on. One of the techniques that we use a lot is variations of bait, whether it be big heads, small heads, big body sections, little body sections, fillets, flappers. There's so many different ways to cut your bait and do different things with it. You wouldn't think that any of it matters. You chunk it up, either they're going to hit it or they're not. That simply isn't true. You would be completely surprised just how much bait presentation makes a difference. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch Chris Souter's last live stream on Sandusky Bay. He was only live for maybe 40, 45 minutes, somewhere right around there. Probably caught around 20, 30 fish. I don't know. But at one point during the show, he said, hey, I want to catch a monster. I want to show you guys these great big Sandusky Bay channel cats, show you, what they're really capable of. So he used large pieces of shad as opposed to small pieces of shad. He went to big chunks to try to catch a bigger fish. He caught no fish. Uncle Jeep, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. He caught no fish. It went from a lightning fast bite. He could not keep 3 rods in the water for more than a minute, honestly, to 10 minutes without a bite. He immediately brought the rods back in, cut the bait back down into a smaller size, and he threw the first rod out. And before he could get the second rod out, first rod was down. The exact same piece of bait, but he cut it down smaller. Boom, got hit, picked up, caught a fish. So if you don't believe that size of bait presentation, different cuts of bait make a difference, it does. And just like Jerry said up there, do not be afraid to experiment. Try, if it's not working, try something else. Try cutting it different. Try filleting it. Try a flapper. Try downsizing. Sometimes it's try upsizing. Just because they're not hitting the shad doesn't mean they're not hitting shad. They're not hitting the shad the way you presented it. Present it every different way before you decide you're going to, give up either on that or go up on that spot. You'd be surprised what'll happen. Yep, the type of bait that you use is also very important. You can switch things up. What do y'all think about cut bait when the females are full of eggs? I feel like we have more bites. It depends on what stage of the spawn that they're in. Art, I'm sure a female eventually is going to see this or hear this, but in most cases, a pregnant female is going to gain weight. It depends, each female is different, but they gain weight. And so what their body is doing is they're storing up vitamins and nutrients to support the growth of another child. And so the females in the catfish community will also do the same thing. They will feed up to support and give the nutrients to the eggs and produce and evolve them as far as possible before they drop those eggs. And so they do feed up pretty heavily. Now, once the eggs are dropped, I switch my tactics. I switch to live, and I switch to egg fish that will endanger the eggs. So all sunfish, especially green sunfish, red ear or red belly, red ear, sunfish, bluegills, even certain types of carp will all be a danger to eggs. And if you want to catch a flathead or a bluecat that's protecting eggs, use these baits that they may not even have any interest in feeding whatsoever, but they will instinctively hit it to protect their nest. That's when I switch. I start using less shad and less algae and plankton eating type baits to more threatening baits to their eggs and to their survival. It's their instinct. They got to protect them. 100%. We struggled at Medona using large chunks of bluegill. Couldn't catch a cat. Went to tiny baits, caught fish. Fish are weird like that sometimes. You're 100% right. PM me. We got a spot on the dock for the rat. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. That sounds like a good time right there. I think Justin was even interested. Female flathead wears heavy eyeliner and lipstick with spritz of Victoria's Secret's perfume. There you go. Use a different variety. That is awesome. That is awesome. Using different sizes of bait. Same deal, Medona, super small pieces of bait. Chris Souter's video was a great show and presentation. Sandusky Bay is a great fishery. You're 100% right. Catfishing ain't easy. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, man. Tim Scott. Uh-oh. We got questions. I don't know if you got time, but we got some questions. He's just now driving home from work. You may, I don't know if you got service, Tim, or if it's safe to do so. Maybe it might not be a good idea to try to do a live stream and drive. We was asking questions about the females. I ran into a situation down in the Mississippi where we ran into hoop nets where we were told they left female flatheads in the hoop nets to attract the males. So I was kind of wondering if there's any truth to that, what it is about the female flathead that attracts the males. I thought they made the males made the nest and the females went to them. So I was just kind of curious a little bit of how that all worked. The females in YouTube catfish community. Oh, there's plenty of females in the catfish community. I tried to make that statement as politically correct as I could. See, there's one now, Christina. This past, it looks like chat's going to move along, man. That's awesome. I hate. I think I've got somebody at the door, which is not likely at 9 o'clock at night. Guys, please excuse me for a second. Keep the conversation going. Give me just a second. Give me just a second. All right, guys, I'm back. Apologize for that. There was somebody at the door. We had a health monitor type thing that we had to do, and they just came to pick it up. I did not expect them to come pick it up at 9 o'clock at night, but Tim says he's home now. Tim, give me a second here. I will shoot you a link. You're more than welcome. Come on in. Let's see. There you go, Tim. Link is on the way. Catawba worms dropping yet? Hey, River Rat, what's going on, brother? Rusty Moorfield in the house. Came down this weekend and also fished with us over on the Fishing for Freedom event. Outstanding folks, man. Those guys are awesome. They helped us out with some bait and helped put us on some fish, sharing information. Question is, catfish dip bait similar to carp pack bait? Does it work on the same concept? Something dissolves in water and making a chum cloud. Yes, in a roundabout way, basically. Most dip bait, you want it to stay on the hook longer and not really dissolve and make a chum cloud, but more so just being attracted as sort. There he is. It worked, I think. I don't know what happened. Tim, can you hear me, buddy? I hear something. Tim, if you can hear me, we can kind of hear you there for a second and started breaking up. We don't have any video yet. Oh, looks like he's having some issues. We'll give him a minute. You know what it's like when he's home. He's got some connection issues out there. Looks like he's trying to get back in. We'll get him back on here. There he is. What's up, buddy?
It's pretty good. I had to shut my Wi-Fi off. It's so terrible. Oh boy, I look like I came out of a coal mine.
Yeah, what was you doing?
Oh, working with barnwood and reclaim wood and recycle. It's dirty business.
That makes beautiful furniture, though, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right. So what do we got? I'm assuming it's going to be a biological question. What do we got?
So what I got is when I was down there fishing the Mississippi, we ran into some hoop nets, and in the hoop
Imagine
nets,
that.
Yeah, I did not expect it to be that bad. It is bad. But
It's bad.
I was told that they left small females in the hoop nets to attract the males. And so it kind of threw a flag. I was kind of wondering, what is it that the females are giving off that attract the males? And because I kind of thought the males went and found the kingdoms for the females, and they kind of went to them. So I was kind of confused.
They do now. And that's going to cause a little bit of confusion because males have to attract a willing female because otherwise she can just escape. But when that female is letting off pheromones and is trapped, those males will start to hone in on that, and that they will enter that hoop net. It is a huge attractor. I mean, the males will actually attack females in the bottom region and shake them, try to get them to release their eggs. I mean, they're very, very aggressive on the spawn. Most of the time, the females stay away from the males until they're ready and they're accepting of it. It's almost like does in heat. Like they don't want nothing to do with the males until they're absolutely ready, and then they'll buddy up to them.
Okay, that helps. That helps a lot. So then the other part of my brain goes into is I wonder if there's a way to reproduce the pheromones that the female gives off as an attractant. because I know in a lot of other species it's possible, but I don't know.
I would say if somebody had the science enough to do it, if there was enough money in it, I'm telling you what, if bass acted like that, there'd already be the pheromone out there. But it's just not there yet in the commercial, in the catfish business yet.
Right. Kelly says Epic is my hero.
I mean, I would say that it would probably work.
Right. Yeah, I hadn't experienced that before. So when I pulled that hoop net and looked at it and saw the little flatheads, I talked to one of the local guys there, and that's basically what he said. He said, yeah. He said it hasn't been there very long, or it probably already have flatheads in it. He said they leave the females in there, and they were beat up. You could tell. I thought they had been in there for a long time, and he said no. They keep putting the females back in there as bait.
Well, and the females, they'll even beat up each other because they're in such a confined space.
I got you. Yeah, they were small. These were 5 pounds or less.
Yeah, they'll still beat up on.
What, bro? Justin, you and Bill, I think, are kind of conversing back and forth maybe about this weekend. If you guys want to send me a message or whatever, and because I'm interested in coming down, and maybe we can all get together, and Justin, maybe we can stop by here and we'll grab the boat and go on down or something. But you guys can just send me a message. Here we go. We'll try it again.
Of course, I get better signal on the Mississippi River than I do here. I was going to ask you, what pool were you on that you were contacting these commercial nets?
Keokuk. We was fishing Loch 19 or Loch 19. I fished that power plant there, and I was down river from it, right down below the island, or where the Des Moines River comes in. The ditty poles and bank poles started right there in the Des Moines River and came around the corner and just went all the way down the bank.
Yeah, and there's plenty of trout you don't see. Oh yeah, I'm surprised you didn't call me when you were on that pool. Yeah, we got some. We sat on it for a good while. We caught one channel cat on it, and we ended up having to go in and for a dinner. We met our veterans and all that stuff, and we got some information on some other fish on south pools. And I went down and looked at the south pool. Bad robot.
Oh, do I? How about you guys on your end? Am I Roger Tron?
Yeah, it's probably bad on my end. Let me try to go in the office.
Okay, buddy. No problem. Let's see. I would say that during spawn, I wouldn't want to mess with their spawning. I would personally put that on the same pace as hand fishing spawning does. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think it's a good idea to mess with them. I was thinking along the lines of like deer lures and deer urine and pheromones, different things that we use for in bees. If there was something that could be reproduced to attract fish, I don't know. Thumbs. Hey, people, smash the thumbs up button. Show your support for catfish community. If it does so, consider subscribe. Thanks, Uncle Jeep. If you guys like what you're seeing here, hit the thumbs up. If you don't, hit the thumbs up twice. It'll be just fine. Below Hannibal Dam is loaded with hoop nets. I believe it. We didn't really. Well, we did run into guys with a lot of bank lines. A lot of bank lines and trot lines and all that stuff. We had guys set or checking trot lines underneath our boat. So as we move, they come underneath our boat and pull their trot line up. Yeah,
Roger, there's a lot of pressure up here. There really is, especially when the water's not high. And everybody. I mean, there needs to be some sort of regulation on catfish because it's just so vulnerable. I get tired of seeing it. I get tired of worrying about it. I get tired of, like, oh, geez. And, if the commercial fishing doesn't hit a pool long enough, you'll catch big fish. But, man, when they flock to it like seagulls, it's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that Kentucky waters right now is hammered hard. And see, those other rivers, since they have regulations, that has put more pressure on the Mississippi in the last 10 years.
Yep. That's exactly what the
DNR
locals
isn't smart enough to figure it out.
That's exactly what the locals are saying. They're saying that, now that other areas are starting to protect their waterways, they're just hitting the unprotected waterways even harder.
Yep.
Here's a question from Dan. Frozen bait. You send it out frozen or do you thaw it first? I send it out frozen. That's just me. I look at it as a time-released capsule like I'm taking medication. That's just me.
If I use it, which is only probably 5% of the time, I usually thaw it out slowly. I never let it get in the sun. I might thaw it out over a period of time in the refrigerator first. So, yeah, frozen bait. I usually thaw it out. If it's hard frozen, it's hard enough to get a hook in it.
Boy, I got Stan thinking too now. He says, do you think that a female hormone would be a seasonal attracted or would it work year round?
I don't know. It's never been tried before. So,
right.
It's possible. It's possible that it probably, my guess is it would be a seasonal thing, but who knows? It might work all year.
Yeah, the only thing that would happen was the commercial guys would get a hold of it and hurt us even worse. I saw a comment. I think that might have been what Brad was getting to there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Brill and I was actually talking about this.
Rub my face in the dirt.
Yeah, you look pretty rough, buddy. You look like you've been working hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you look like you just crawled out of a coal mine.
Yeah, I know it. Oh, man. So, what other questions do we have? So, because I can get my ugly coal mine face off of here. Holy moly.
Man, you know me. I could probably end up talking forever on the. I really liked that dam. I really liked that area right there. I went by on my side scan and I did not realize that wall I was fishing had giant holes in it that went back in big holding tanks, big pools back there. And so it was a neat experience for sure. The poles take out far less fish per year than commercial nets do in one trip.
That's fact.
Sean says you look like you got a tan.
Yeah, it's a dirt tan. I did get a little bit of a tan, but it's got a bunch of dirt all over it right now.
Yeah, my tan is no tan. It's just straight red, and then you can see where I wear my sunglasses. That's about it.
Yep. So I'm really thinking about doing another live here pretty quick.
I missed your last live. Obviously, I was out, but from what I heard, it was really good.
You can still watch it, Roger.
Oh, I'm going to.
No, we didn't catch any bridge monsters, but the bite was decent until maybe 40 minutes after dark, which it usually is this time of year where we're at, because right now it's early pre-spawn here where, everybody south of us, it's like mid pre-spawn when you start getting those bites after dark. And I thought possibly if the water temperature was 70, we were going to have a good bite from big fish. And it's possible there wasn't any big fish in that bridge at that time. It's just we didn't hit it hard during the day. because I didn't want to sting up the big fish if we were going to do a live on it, and it just didn't happen.
Right. This is a question we get a lot. So it says, on a new body of water, a lake, for Bluecats, what's the number one thing you look for? So if you're going to a new body of water and wanting to target Bluecats, what's the first thing that you're going to look for to hunt them down?
Well, first of all, it depends on what type of year, what time of year. Okay. If it's winter, I'm going to be looking for something different than I am spring. I'm going to be looking for something different in summer. Let's just say what we have coming up right now, which is going to be post-spawn, summer pool in riverine lakes or in landlocked lakes, either way. Normally, I would look for current first, but that's out of the equation. So now I'm going to look for depth, and then I'm going to look for cover, which blues are the least cover oriented. Mm-hmm. Channel cats like cover better than blues do, but blues will hang around cover because, after all, they got to ambush bait fish. So when do flatheads spawn? Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to look for depth first with
right.
with quick access to shallow water. Okay. I'm going to look for hard ledges. I'm going to look for old river channels that have a diverse situation with bait fish near. And I'm going to have to take note, because there's no current. I'm going to have to take note of what type of bait fishes. Is it gizzard shad? Is it skipjack? Is it open water stuff? Like, what's that one in Santee Cooper? Blueback herring. Blueback herring is deep in open water. So, and nobody even really uses them for bait because they don't know that they're there. But those blues will start keying on those at 25, 30 feet deep, even out in the open. So, I ran into that on Lake Cumberland. I ran into that on a couple other places, Santee Cooper, as a matter of fact. 25 feet, you could see the schools hanging out on about 15 to 20 feet deep. And we just kind of had to target those. The other thing I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for shelves. I'm going to look for steep banks like this, especially in those riverine lakes. I mean, those canyon style lakes, like our down south Kentucky, all that. I'm going to look for sheer drops off the bank, and then I'm going to look for it to level out like this and then go back down. And I'm going to, and a lot of guys call those benches, and I'm going to target those benches. I may have my boat right up against shore, but it's 65 feet straight down. So rock walls, benches, things like that come out. I'm going to look for sunken trees, and I'm going to try to target that old river channel on that ledge where, it may be a flat for a long way, because, that old river channel might only been a 10-foot deep channel, but there's 50 foot of water on top of it. So I'm going to look for that, and I'm going to try to pinpoint my baits on that.
Sounds like Stan had heard that question before. He almost answered it for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is great. And that's the thing, getting the information out there and retaining the information and, putting it to use. Myself, kind of like yourself, I don't fish a lot of lakes. I get to fish some lakes occasionally. So these kind of, even though these questions and comments don't pertain to most of my fishing, when I do get that situation, these things here are very good questions to have in the memory bank. Dr. Catfish.
You're welcome, Mr. Gadget. Thank you.
There you go.
All right. So let's also talk to Stan a little bit, because Stan said, as the spawn is subsiding, what areas do I look for? If I was on the James, I would look for pinch points. I want to find increased current on the James, especially during high tide when it's going out fast, and low tide when it's going out fast, and high tide when it's coming in fast. So I want I want the fastest current available. Then I'm going to be looking for cover, because the James, we all know, has all kinds of giant shad pretty much everywhere, especially in the summer pool when they're shallow, they're deep, the population is way bigger. So, even during the summer, when I used to fish the James, I would fish bridge pillars. I would fish old docks. I would fish the old river channel, and I would definitely fish any sunken ships I could get in, as long as they were 25 to 45 feet deep. Too shallow, and you got little fish. You got hordes of little fish. So, you know, concentrate on those sunken islands, sunken ships. There is spots on the James where it's got a double old channel. So there'll be a hump in the middle running a long way, and there'll be a secondary channel, and then there'll be the main channel. Sometimes you can get on that secondary channel, mark big fish, and target them right on that.
Yeah, I hear a lot of the same type of situations when people talk about secondary channels and you know, how you could find them and where they show up the most. I know of a few areas that I fish that have secondary channels that produce fish pretty consistently.
Secondary channels within the banks of the main river. I'm not talking about like around islands. I'm talking about a secondary channel that's right within the main river. And you would think that the whole thing is a river channel, and then you bump up. But if you go directly across, it'll go from 5, it'll dump down into 25, go across, come back up in about middle of the river, mid-riff, and then come back up and then go back down again. So that's what I'm meaning as a secondary channel.
Right.
Yep. I'll bet the shad were everywhere.
That's something we couldn't really get on very many, at least any good ones down there. We couldn't find any big shad. We found some small shad. I was able to get some moon eye.
Nice.
I had Asian carp
off the backside of the barges.
Yep. Actually, there wasn't. Believe it or not, there was so little current, even right below the dam there, Keokuk, that the barges didn't even have a current seam. I had to fish the end of the lock wall.
Okay.
I had to throw at the end of the lock wall, which I caught several small shad, but also was catching moon eye in the cast net off that wall.
Okay. Did you fish Dead Man's Hole at all?
Yep.
Nothing?
Nope. We fished right along the side of the edge, along the wall.
Too far. You're probably back too far.
Because at the very front of it, it's shallower and it got deeper as we went farther towards the dam. Of course, it was reverse current. We was anchored backwards.
Okay. But were you okay? So the pour through spout right there, you know what I'm talking about? Were you downriver from that or upriver from that?
We were close. It was in front of the boat, which put us closer to the dam. It was right in front of the boat.
Okay. If you fish that again, you got to go halfway between the pour through spout and where the water's coming out. Almost where you get that little dead water piece right there. How high was that wall sticking up?
About 2 feet.
Oh, yeah, you just missed it, because I'll guarantee if you hit that right, you'd have caught some good blues. And with the water being low, probably some good flatheads too. And when the water being low, it should be full of channel cats. You just ended up in the Asian carp area.
Yes. we had Asian carp bouncing off of everything.
See, and here's the other thing. There's 2 Asian carp areas. There's one downstream of that pour through where you can drive a boat into, okay? And then there's another one if you go past the pour through halfway, and it's out to the right, okay, where that water swirls around. It's basically the current break. And when you cast and it clinks like a plinko game all the way down on the Asian carp. And once you fall through the Asian carp, there's your blue cats. They hang around underneath that school. I wish you'd have called me.
Yeah, I should have. We were there for, we had local guys come up here and sit and talk to us for over an hour, and just kind of give us some information on what that area was looking like and what it was doing at the time. There was fish there. I marked them. Now, for me, the first time I ever seen an Asian carp, it was kind of hard.
The locals rarely break 20 pounds on a blue, and they don't catch very many of them, most of them. And most of them are, they're might as well be using hot dogs.
We didn't have any hot dogs out there.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, we only need.
You had moon eye, and so when are you fishing Keokuk again?
I don't know. That's a long drive. 9 hours from here.
How far is it?
9 hours. Well, 8 hour drive minus gas and food. So 8 hour drive, 9 hour trip.
Keokuk is how far? You know what? I'll just ask you all that stuff on the phone.
There you go.
Well, all right. I think it's time for me to wash my face.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Hey, I appreciate you coming in, help clearing that up a little bit for me. I was all right, buddy. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks. See you.
See ya. Sean, we was trying to, I don't know that we actually got clear back to Dead Man's Hole. We fished right up in front of it, and there was a boat already sitting in Dead Man's Hole pretty much the whole time we was there. I didn't see him catch a fish. Doesn't mean they were fishing it right. But I'm remembering what he said about Dead Man's Hole. I think it's further back at the end of that first wall when it cuts back. That's the hole there. We didn't get to fish that. Convex light from Uncle Lou comes in, a carry case and everything. It's awesome. Man, I got to get one of those convex lights. I'm ready to do some night fishing, and I need a light that can light up the boat so you guys can actually see us. You guys should be able to see the rods, but which is probably fine for most of the viewers. They'd rather see the rods and not see me anyway. So that might be great. But if I catch a fish, you probably won't see it. So I gotta get a light on there. Those convex lights or complex, I'm not sure what they're called. They have very good reviews and they're small. My boat is, I'm good on space, but the smaller I can keep things and the more convenient I can make things, the more likely the easier things will be. Fishing with the Squirrel, thanks for tuning in. I got to make an order from Lou soon anyways. I got a great package in from Lou right before I left. I couldn't have came the day before I left for my trip. It came, and I was sitting here at the house tying up rigs, and I was hoping to need big hooks and donkey weights and donkey baits and all this stuff, and we ended up catching little tiny fish. I was like, man, I should have brought some 6/0 hooks and downsized. Because, like I said, the biggest fish caught in the whole tournament was 26 pounds. Yes, more fishing videos, Muskrat. All of us here are fishing junkies. I'm getting on it, buddy. It's time. It's nighttime for me now. It's I can't do 90-some degree heat out during the daytime. I'll get out there a couple hours before dark, get some spots dropped on waypoints on them, and then start bouncing back and fishing them. Hopefully not in real heavy fog. Roger, I get that light made for you. Yeah, Justin's got something in the works for me. I'm not sure what it is. We'll see how it works out. But, well, folks, I appreciate you guys all being here. It's been a great night, man. It felt good to come back on a Tuesday night. Like I said, I really hated missing last week, but unfortunately just had to make sure I had all my T's crossed and my I's dotted before I took off for Fishing for Freedom. It was a great event. I appreciate folks that helped out and got it going. Brad, appreciate you guys setting me up with the custom rod bases. We'll get those mounted up on the boat and get them fired up and underway here quickly. I'm actually waiting on SmackDown. It's supposed to be making me some reverse thread rod holders. And as soon as I get those four, the boat should be pretty much set up the way I want it. Janice, what in the hell? She just threw me under the bus. I am a procrastinator at times. I am. Complex light. It was the one stand 3 used in Iron Cat a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Yeah, those things have made a very good impression when it comes to the outdoor enthusiasts, bank fishermen, and boat fishermen, kayak fishermen. Yeah, I'm not under the bus. I'm under the boat. So yeah, I like to get some lighting system set up. Like Justin said, he's got something that he had in the works. I'm not sure if what it is or how big it is. If I can be able to store it easily. He's supposed to be in the 110s here next week. Holy cow, 110. Yeah, y'all can keep that. I don't want to fish in that. The only problem I got fishing at night is the daggone bugs. I've got blue LEDs. They look great, but the first couple hours you turn them on, man, the bugs are pretty crappy. Sometimes I'll switch over and use my lightning bug lights on the tips of my rods as opposed to turning any lights on at all. I'll just kick lights on as needed. I've got LED lights all the way around the gunnel to see the floor, to see everything inside the boat. But I had a mouse problem here because I live on a farmland, and the mice got in there and chewed up a bunch of my wiring and destroyed my my LED lights inside the gunnel. So I got to rip it all out and order new ones. So I'll get my lighting straightened out, but I'm going to fish. I'm going to fish anyway. Janice and I are planning on fishing Thursday if we can stay out of the rain. So we might be live Thursday. And if I can sneak out and get a night trip in somewhere, somehow, some way, I'll do that. And then War Pig, Saturday night sounds like a fun night to me. I'm not sure the details there, but food and fishing, man, sold. And Justin, if you're up for going, let me know. Janice, I think you're working. I love you too. Bubblegum worked for us again this year. I must have missed something. John Boy. Hey, John Boy's in the house. I think I missed you earlier. Thanks for stopping in. 99 and 98 degrees to here next week. Woo-wee. Set a lantern up on the front of the boat. It will draw the bugs away from you. That sounds like a good deal. Cut your lights off and use glow sticks. Yeah. I don't use glow sticks anymore. I use the lightning bug lights. They're LED, and you can turn them on and off and use them like a million times. Way cheaper than glow sticks in the long run. What's great about yes, that was exactly what I was getting ready to say. Those lights being super light allows you to put them on a telescoping pole and get them way up out the way. So the cut the lights off is great, except for when it comes to making videos. So making the YouTube videos, use low light LEDs. Yeah, I could do that. Go dark and whisper. Thermocells. I got thermocells on the boat, depending on the wind, whether they work or not. I keep them on the boat, and they'll help some. But depending on the breeze, if you get enough wind, the thermocell's not working. Sometimes it's enough to keep the bugs away. When you kick those, that's right. Well, I did. We got rid of most of the mice. I think we should be done screwing with them. But Janice, you missed it about 30 minutes ago. The folks showed up and picked up that monitor. It was after 9 o'clock, and they're here ringing the doorbell, driving my dog crazy. But it was picked up. We'll take a troll on the boat with you. We scare everything away. Unfortunately, fish too. There you go, Tim. They just eat the bugs. Mayfly sandwiches. I don't know what they were up in on the Mississippi. They were not mayflies. I believe they were stoneflies. I'm not 100% sure. They were freaking everywhere. Man, oh man, they were aggravating. It was very hard to deal with them. And just put it out the back of your mind and finish doing what you was doing. The fog light, not a spotlight. Right there, Uncle Jeep, best troll in the game. Glad we live on the same island. On a hoagie bun or even on a roll-up, these guys are eating bugs. That's like eating the scales from the shad, isn't it? River lettuce. We call it river lettuce. War Pig, thanks for stopping in. Bill, I'll catch you later. We will we'll work on the details for this weekend. I'm just going to commit to it and leave it at that. Let's see what else we got. Guys rolling out tortilla soup ranch bedtime. All right, yeah, I need to get off here too. I got a couple things I got to get done real quick before I hit the bed. And tooth blink. Oh God. I was just getting ready to wrap it up. But Matt, hey, thanks for stopping in, buddy. If you missed it earlier, I was showing off. We did get the boxes in. They look awesome. A lot of cool stuff in there. They sent us some stickers to go along with them. I'm like a big kid, so I know kids like stickers. So I'm going to send the stickers along with the boxes, and so then again, thank you very much for donating those for the kids tournament. I appreciate it so much. I'm looking forward to this a whole lot. We will be getting back on the water probably Thursday if it doesn't rain. A great show. Thanks, Ernie. Thanks, guys. A Quoro black light from a caddy will last 6 hours and it's rechargeable. I've got black lights and blue lights already wired into the boat. I've ran black lights for a while. They weren't quite bright enough for anything that wasn't white. I've got a couple of black rods and whatnot. So I got some really bright blue LEDs that shine up on the rods. Okay, I have to go to work so I can afford my fishing habit. Yeah, you got that right. It is not cheap. It is not cheap being a catfisherman or a YouTuber, and I decided to do both. Sorry, Janice. All right, guys, I'm going to shut her down here. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We will see you next Tuesday night. Same cat time, same cat channel. See you.